Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. With me today, I have a very special guest from Veterans and Athletes United. Did I say that right?
That's correct.
You did
All
good.
right. James Howard, the president and founder, is here to talk to us today about VAU and a little bit about yourself as well.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited about this. To see James, I haven't seen him for a couple of years. I've known him for probably 7-8 years. We did TV together a couple times, and I don't know if we ever did radio together, but here we are. So
Barry always surprises me last minute with special guests.
Oh, I'm sure.
she doesn't have a clue exactly
I think I
your
emailed
background.
him, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, I should do it a week in advance, but that's Barry.
That's all right.
James understands.
Yep.
So go ahead and tell everybody what VAU is, what you all do. I read a little bit about it, but for those that don't know.
Yeah, so VAU, we've been operating since 2013. We're all volunteer veterans that run the nonprofit. And we focus on adaptive sports, accessible retreats, and we have a traveling memorial that goes all over the country to bring awareness of our fallen heroes from the War on Terror. So we've been fortunate to help well over 6,000 veterans with disabilities and their family members through our programs. We operate on a 5% administration budget, so we cover that with donations from the board. So 100% of donations goes towards supporting the disabled veterans we serve and our programs. And it's just been a delight to be a part of it. And I'm actually a C5 quadriplegic myself. I medically retired out of the Army in 2010. Spent some time with 82nd Airborne and Special Forces. Had some combat injuries and training injuries that kind of culminated in my spinal cord injury, and just found that through sports and retreats and being around others really helped me with my recovery and rehabilitation to find my new normal and kind of move forward. So it's been great to pay that forward. And we're stationed here in Richmond, Virginia, but we operate all over the country. So we help veterans all over, and with a focus on the Mid-Atlantic area. But it's been a real pleasure to do a lot for very little. So
It's great to have a community of people that really understand your background and where you come from and kind of the struggles that you went through. And you mentioned on the website that everybody's journey is very different, and it's based on the individual. But being able to have that place like VAU to go to and just have a community and understanding with stuff like that. What are some of the sports that you guys do in the retreats? What do you guys do at the retreats?
Yeah, so the retreats, we just had one this past Wednesday. We do one at our property right behind Rockwood Park there on the lake. We have a big barbecue, fishing, massage therapists come out. It's just a great day away from the hospital. A lot of inpatients from polytrauma, spinal cord injury at the local VA come out. They bring busloads of veterans. But veterans come in from all over, and we just set them up in that environment where we can learn from each other. I've found that, you learn the most from people that have been there and done that, things you wouldn't, get a briefing on in the VA or during your transition out of the military. So, and for caregivers as well, their family members are there with others that have been through this and can really, tell them about benefits that they might not be aware of, or just connect with them in many ways. These relationships last well after these retreats. They keep in touch with each other and help each other along the way. We do have about 20 accessible properties throughout the Mid-Atlantic, from Boone to Carolina Beach, all over Virginia, where families can get away, with single-family retreats or group retreats. We hold one out of Virginia Beach where we do skydiving on the beach, as well as adaptive water skiing, just a lot of great accessible activities. We have the all-terrain wheelchairs so they can get out on the beach or out on trails and, do things they thought they may never do again. One of our motto for the nonprofit is, in every chaos, there's also opportunity. It's an old Sun Tzu quote, but we try to provide that for these families and their loved ones to really get out there and learn from each other. And it's been great. So a lot of good retreats. On the sports side of things, we provide a lot of grants for veterans to get to the wheelchair games, the Warrior Games, the Paralympics, which are actually going on right now. We support a lot of veteran Paralympians. But we provide grants that help with travel and lodging, things that aren't covered for their trainings, as well as adaptive equipment. So, like a bow, for instance, I'm a quadriplegic. I don't have any tricep, but I draw a bow with my teeth. So I draw the bow back, and I have all these special components that allows me to do that. So we provide funding for those things to keep them competitive, to keep them, outdoors and training and doing things like that. So you name it, wheelchair rugby chairs, wheelchair basketball chairs, hand cycles. We keep them moving forward and keep them busy competing with others. And,
Wow.
really helps in that recovery process. Once again, to just keep doing things that you enjoy doing and finding your new normal to do that. So
That's amazing.
Your home base, when did you bought that place? Maybe in 2014,
Yeah,
15? Talk about that.
2013.
Yeah, talk about that and where the funds go to and what that's accomplished. I can remember walking in there probably with one of the South Richmond Rotary guys. We came over and did a tour.
Yep.
You might not remember, but there was nothing much there.
Yeah.
Your vision was there. And then years later, I went back and things really came together. So what do you accomplish? I remember your mom was there. She was a big part.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've gotten married, and it's just been amazing. So talk about your home base.
Yeah, so that property, we've been running retreats there during the warmer months, March through November, about twice a month. Not only just the inpatients at the VA, we'll do Sitter Barfoot, the long-term living care facility there at the VA comes out. Their STAR program, they'll bring out on separate retreats. But we've been able to do a lot with very little, just a big barbecue. Like I said, we have volunteer massage therapists that have been coming out for a long time. They love that. They can get out of their chairs on a table and really get the comfort of a massage, and stretch out, which I enjoy myself. It helps with spasms and blood flow and things like that. But the biggest thing is just being around each other. These families get to meet each other. Some of them are newly injured. Some of them have been in a wheelchair for a long time, or an amputee or traumatic brain injury. A lot of different disabilities, but they learn from a lot of others that are there. And we provide them with resources, other great nonprofits that we're partnered with and know that do good things in the community. So they leave with a lot of great resources. I also work for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, which helps a lot of spinal cord injury and mobility issues. So they get lots of resources from there. Things that they may not know about, that kind of help with, raising a child in a wheelchair, pain issues or using the bathroom, you name it. It's just got a lot of great information there. And they can talk to people that are there and see an accessible home. So, when we're not doing these retreats, people stay there too. So we have people kind of come and go for different events, and there's a fully accessible bottom portion of the home. So It's been good to be able to do a lot with very little there.
As I remember, in case anybody's listening, out there, VMI alumnus, correct?
Yep, I was VMI class of 2002, and love it. Good place to be from, not at.
Do you get back to there at all, or not really?
Occasionally, I get back there for a football game or something.
Has the flag been there? Have you displayed the flag up there?
No, we're trying to get it there. It hasn't been there yet, but
How do people request that?
there's an application on our website. So the memorial flag, which I haven't talked about much yet.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
That was finished in 2018. It's 28 feet wide by 6 feet tall. It's an American flag designed out of all the dog tags of those who've died in the War on Terror. It has gold stars, 50 gold stars for their family members. It's in the shape of the flag as it's draped on a fallen soldier's casket. We have a battlefield cross that's carved out of one piece of mahogany wood that travels with it. Alicia Dietz, a Richmond artist here. She does amazing woodwork. She was a chopper pilot in the military too. Amazing woman. She carved that out of one piece of mahogany wood. It's beautiful.
Wow.
But it travels all over to bring awareness of these fallen heroes and their family members. We don't make any money on the flag. All the proceeds go directly towards those family members. Children's Gold Star children's camps that are helping those loved ones of the fallen members. But I have a lot of friends that are on that flag, many that were a part of building it, that helped. Also, have members that they love that are on that flag. And it's just a way, it's just a powerful tribute to just, bring awareness to them. And It's since traveled to almost 200 locations since
Wow.
2018. We built a second one that's stationed in St. Louis and travels out west. So it's just been incredible. And once again, all volunteers, a lot of good veterans, travel that thing, get in the truck and
You
go
do
all
need
over the
drivers
country.
at times. I've seen
Yeah.
that right over the Memorial Day weekends and stuff.
Yep.
I wish I could drive a truck in that flag.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't do too good in that.
Ha.
I
It's
would
great.
yeah, it's a
We
long
can
flag.
we can set it up in
Unfortunately.
about an hour and a half and break it down the same
We
amount
might
of
have to
time.
talk about putting it here for Shred Day and find out the guidelines, or maybe down to Tractor Museum. I don't know if it's visited down there in Colonial Heights,
Yeah.
but that might be a great location because you do a lot with the folks at the hospital that
Yep.
you're helping. So, and the last thing, it's selfishly, we're going to put you on the spot and we're going to ask you for future help. But we're doing a lot. Nevi could talk a little bit about Ignite, about concentrate on mental health and nonprofits, where our stance is. And he has a great insight, James does, to a lot of nonprofits that try to emulate him and what are they really doing. He does work with a lot of them. I get that. But go ahead.
Yes,
I'll put it
so
on you.
with Ignite, with the Better Business Bureau, we are a nonprofit ourselves. Ignite is a nonprofit as well, and an extension of the Better Business Bureau. But what we want to do is have conversations about serious social issues and business issues in the community. And the BBB itself doesn't get to do that, but Ignite does. So what we do is we host these conversations. And one of our major pillars that we have here is mental health. And the other one is nonprofits. We love nonprofits. We are a nonprofit. And mental health is a big issue, not just for people that, had struggles in their family homes or veterans, but everybody struggles with any sort of mental issue. And so what we want to do as a nonprofit is we want to be a liaison with other nonprofits to work together to find solutions to problems. So many Band-Aids is what we like to call them out there. And instead of having real talk like we do here, people like to sugarcoat things. I didn't grow up in a family home where we sugarcoated anything. We talked about everything, whether it made you comfortable or uncomfortable or not. And here we have those uncomfortable discussions. Now, with the nonprofit side of things, nonprofits are so important, especially local and statewide nonprofits, because we can't rely on government to do everything for us. And so people that, put their attention towards things like that is really important. However, there are some nonprofits that, I don't know how to say this without offending people.
Well, you're not going to offend them. It's just that some are just for ego-driven and they raise money.
Yes.
And they're taking the eye off of VAU or some real, I could go through 20 real nonprofits that I know
The
about.
ego word was the one I was more concerned about
Right.
using, but Barry
Right.
doesn't mind using
No,
the
I'm pretty sure.
word. But they are ego driven, and with things like nonprofits like VAU, we want the focus to be more so on nonprofits like yourself that actually can show that there's a difference being made, that there's a solution or working towards a solution to a problem. Whereas we've noticed some nonprofits don't do that.
He mentioned 5%.
Yeah.
That was, you caught that, right?
Yes,
And
I
that's
did.
a big number. That's a small number, but that doesn't fit with
It's
a
a
lot
small
of the
number that
nonprofits.
makes a big difference
Yes.
for a nonprofit.
Yeah, generally, if you're going over 20%, you're kind of dipping a little too far into those
Yeah.
funds instead of focusing on your programs. But yes, I've seen a lot of it myself. That's kind of how VAU started. I was a part of another nonprofit. I won't mention their name, but I learned a lot of good things and bad things. And one was just not transparent, not communicating with the board as properly as they should have been. Funds going to places that probably shouldn't have gone, but wasn't open to the board and recognized. So, we decided to kind of split ties with that and kind of continue our mission and focus on the things where we saw we're helping veterans the most, and with the mental health too. A lot of these programs that we have we would like to think keep from veterans, suicide, which is very prominent in our country. And if you give them a purpose and a way of giving back to others and a way of continuing in sports or just kind of taking those retreats with family members and learning from others, it keeps them in a good mental health and keeps them moving forward, and gives them more focus on, that new purpose and that, things aren't completely lost. So, yeah, we totally agree with that.
We're going to use you, if you don't mind, and ask you to share out our episodes and our events with your network, and we'll do the same. We're at 15 minutes, so we're going to wrap this one up, and you're going to bring up one more point, but, right?
Well, I want to make sure that he lets people know how to get in contact
touch
with him.
So, and before you do that, I would love to be able to count on, your volunteers, your members, your client, whatever you want to call them, your friends, they're your friends, that they come here and participate in some of these dialogues we're having. On September 18th, we're having the state come in on the 988. You talk about the suicide line. I didn't even know about it. Do you know about it?
No.
Yes, that's a scary thing, right? So you're worried about 22 a day,
Yep.
right? And that number, we always wanted that to drop. Well, the state years ago came out with 988. It's a suicide hotline. So for the person, just to dial that number, or if you're with somebody that's doing that, and there are trained professionals right there that's available
Right.
in the state of Virginia. So now go ahead. You can ask your
Yes.
question. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you for mentioning September 18th. How can people get in touch with you, James, and get onto the website and be able to participate and volunteer?
Yeah. So if you go to www.vetsau.org, that's VETSAU.org, you can get on there. You can make donations. You can see our 990s. You can volunteer. There's applications on there. If you're a disabled veteran out there that needs some help, you can see our retreats and our sports grants, how you can apply for those items. So please check us out. We truly appreciate any support. So thank you.
Thank you. Everyone watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. It helps the algorithm out. And if you're listening on Spotify, follow us, give us a like, and share it out. Thank you.